I'm Tony Locantro and I'm at the RIU Good Oil Conference, and I'm joined today by Cath Norman from FAR, code is FAR. Hi Cath, nice of you to join me.
Thank you.
I actually remember a few years back when I was doing some Foxtel work that I actually called you the Kate Blanchett of the oil industry, and that sort of reverberated through social media. But anyway, moving right along. Now, FAR, I believe you're trading around 11 cents and you are now a $600 million company. And I guess the key for investors is to know, well, how are you going to grow further? What are the catalysts?
Thanks, Tony. So our market cap is really underpinned by the value of the oil that we have in the ground in our big discovery in Senegal. So as you're probably aware, we farmed in Cairn and ConocoPhillips and drilled the two first ever deep water wells offshore Senegal, and in fact the first ever exploration wells off Senegal 4 years ago, and made two big discoveries, one of which was the world's largest oil field for 2014. That oil field's finished appraisal, and in fact we're moving into submitting the development plan at the end of this month. And together with the big SNE field and the contingent resources in FAR has about 110 million barrels of oil to our name in 2C resources. So most of our value in that 600 million is in valuing those contingent resources to FAR. But since making those discoveries, we've moved along the shelf edge trend where the SNE field sits and picked up some acreage offshore the Gambia just to the south. In fact, it's just 5 kilometres south of the big SNE field. And we're drilling a big prospect in the Gambia called Samo. It'll be spudding in about 6 weeks' time, and it's an 800 million barrel prospect on a best estimate or P50 basis. We farmed Petronas in earlier this year, so we're free carried and we retain 40% equity in that big prospect. So that is going to be a real company maker for us if that comes in.
Well, if it hits, it's 320 million barrels of oil, and that sends your valuation into the stratosphere.
It does indeed.
And I think FAR is quite a good stock due to the good trading volume, and people can change their mind numerous times a day, in and out. But,
our liquidity is good, yeah.
I think that would be a huge uplift. So what do you give the chances of success? I know for oil investors it's COS, so what are the chances?
So the chances of success are what we call the chances of geological success. So in this well, if we return oil to the surface, that's what we consider geological success. And we give it a 50% chance of success, this well. And that sounds really high for an exploration well, but you've got to remember that we've drilled all of the reservoirs 9 times to the north, just 5 kilometres to the north in the SNE field. So really this is like a big step out appraisal well to the big SNE field. So we already know what the behaviour of the reservoirs are like. We know there's a huge oil source rock that exists out offshore. I mean, in the SNE field we've got 4 billion barrels of oil in place. So it's an enormous amount of oil that's been generated offshore. So we've de-risked both the reservoir and the potential for source to be trapped in the traps that we see, purely because we've drilled this margin 9 times.
So regardless of having a farming partner, Cath, are you any concerns over a potential takeover of FAR?
I get asked that question a lot, but really we're just getting on with our business. We see an opportunity to build a big footprint in this shelf edge trend that the SNE field sits on. Given we're smaller than most of the majors that are surrounding us now, we're more nimble, so we've been able to pick up acreage really under the eyes of all the big companies. So we're hoping to build a nice portfolio of exploration acreage to the south of SNE in particular. We know that we're getting surrounded by the big boys now, so since we've made the discovery, we've seen the entrance of Total, BP, Exxon and Shell to the north in Mauritania, Petronas and CNOOC now in and around us. So this is becoming big boy territory for sure.
So you said you're spudding in 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
How long is that well going to take to drill?
About 35 days on a dry hole basis, and then of course you've got to add logging time to that. So we're hoping for sort of early December results.
At 50% chance of success, that's got to be pretty good odds.
Yeah, we're pretty excited.
All right, thanks for joining.
Thank you very much, Tony.
No worries.